Coffee, you took a shot at my reputation. So in this video today, I'm going to be defending myself with facts, something that you have gotten in the habit of twisting as you continue to morph from an investigator to a gossip channel.
So my story was basically showing the victims of the scheme. And then in response, he's like, well, I'm going to sue you for that.
He said he's going to sue you.
Yeah, he said, I'll see you in court.
Is this it?
Yeah, there it is. You get like
bear
shark. So
Whale
like
panda.
So people start to like,
gorilla.
Is it still around?
2 days ago, Logan Paul filed a defamation lawsuit against Stephen Feindeisen, who most of us know as CryptoZilla, over his 3-part series exposing Logan Paul's CryptoZoo scheme. Logan's alleging that CryptoZilla published false statements accusing him of running a scam, which has apparently severely damaged his reputation and caused him significant economic harm. I'm going to take you guys through the important bits of this lawsuit. Basically, the whole lawsuit is based around 3 videos that CryptoZilla released in December of 2022.
today we're investigating Logan Paul's CryptoZoo, a blockchain game that made millions but never worked. Some of you guys think you know the story, but it goes so much deeper.
So in this first video, Logan's complaint says that CryptoZilla claimed to reveal how Logan Paul allegedly scammed victims out of millions of dollars through the CryptoZoo project. The investigation took place over the course of a year, and Coffee's conclusion was that Logan Paul had deceitful intentions from the beginning and portrayed Logan as a reckless clout goblin who duped buyers into believing he was a reformed influencer. Then, in part 2, which was uploaded a few days later, CryptoZilla identified Eduardo Ibanez, known as Eddie, as the biggest fraud in the CryptoZoo project. He went through his extensive history of deceit, including fabricating his personal educational and professional background, but Logan claims in the legal filing that Eduardo's history was not known to him at the time he joined the crypto. So according to Logan, CryptoZilla falsely claimed that Logan Paul was the mastermind behind the scheme when another CryptoZoo team member, Jake Greenbaum, spoke with CryptoZilla and insisted that Eddie was the primary reason for the project's failure. Apparently, Greenbaum explained that Eddie had misrepresented his abilities and intentions to personally profit off the scheme, effectively conducting what's called a rug pull. This is where the developers of a project suddenly withdraw all of the money from the liquidity pool, causing the value of the cryptocurrency or the tokens to plummet. This leaves all the investors with worthless assets, while you guessed it, the guys at the top have already cashed in. Now, this is the important part at the center of this case. Greenbaum explicitly stated that Logan Paul was not involved in Eddie's fraudulent activities and therefore should not be blamed for the project's failure. The key question in this lawsuit is whether or not CryptoZilla knew this when he made his videos blaming Logan Paul, or whether he genuinely believed at the time that Logan had set it all up to scam his fans and run off with the money. And this is where part 3 of CryptoZilla's series comes into it.
Welcome to part 3. So far, we've discovered fake orphans, millions of dollars stolen, and a cast of sleazy characters, but now it's time to put it all together. What is the truth? And who's to blame? We're going to start by going through leaked text messages of the CryptoZoo team to understand all of their motivation. Then we'll go to blockchain evidence and show who sold what. And finally, we'll confront some of the people responsible.
This is where the claim came out that Logan had allegedly stolen $40 million in tokens, which was apparently a false accusation by Greenbaum to distract from the fact that Logan was trying to stop him from manipulating the market. And it's like I was saying before, the lawsuit is not about what Logan Paul necessarily did or he didn't do, it's more about what CryptoZilla knew when he made those videos. Did he hide or deliberately leave out certain facts to make Logan look like the scammer, or did he accurately report on all the information he had at the time? Because remember, neither Logan Paul nor his manager sold any of the Zoo tokens that they had acquired. And so ultimately, Logan is claiming that there was no evidence that he intended to scam anyone or profit from CryptoZoo. Instead, Logan failed in his poor choices of associates he had partnered with to run the scheme.
I watched your 3-part series called Investigating Logan Paul's Biggest Scam, and like many on this platform, you have successfully used my name for views and money. While your work used to be impartial, your addiction to clicks has clouded your judgment and you've made very real errors with very real repercussions. Coffee, you took a shot at my reputation. So in this video today, I'm gonna be defending myself with facts, something that you have gotten in the habit of twisting as you continue to morph from an investigator to a gossip channel. You see, CryptoZilla tried to work with law enforcement in the past, but his work was described as not anchored to truth and often speculative. He is a lopsided journalist with an agenda, and he's nothing more than the Keemstar of crypto and finance. But as opposed to just telling you, I'm going to show you some of the core discrepancies that I caught in CryptoZilla's investigation.
So this was from January of 2023, a couple of weeks after CryptoZilla had published his 3-part series on YouTube, and Logan was trying to hit back and correct the record. After that response video was widely trashed as Logan being in damage control and making things worse, he addressed the accusations again on his podcast with Mike and George.
Let me give some context to this situation. CryptoZoo is a blockchain project that I created about 1.5 years ago. And the question everyone's going to be asking is why now? Why talk about this series or this project right now? So again, this YouTuber named CryptoZilla released a 3-part series. He spent 1 year making it, and I'll be honest, it was very good. He is entertaining, and he's a very good storyteller. I mean, essentially, if you're making content on YouTube, I assume it's to get views and to get people watching your stuff. I get what he's doing. If you put my name in the title and you label it Logan Paul's scam, you're going to get more views. The problem with it is that is not true.
Logan's argument has always been that he accepts the CryptoZoo scheme failed, but it wasn't his fault, and all these YouTubers who are calling him a scammer are just doing it for clicks and to profit off of his name. According to Logan, the truth is that he was also the victim of Green Bomb and Eduardo. And I found something interesting in this legal filing. There's a section where he claims that he wasn't planning on suing anyone. He was satisfied that he had come out and cleared the record and explained what had really happened, so he was prepared to just leave it. But apparently, because CryptoZilla kept going hard on him and posting supposedly false claims on Twitter about Logan, the damage to his reputation had become so bad at that point that he decided to take legal action. For example, a couple of months later, CryptoZilla got a spot on the Joe Rogan Experience where he described Logan Paul's CryptoZoo scheme as being his biggest catch.
What has been the most visceral or violent reaction to what you've done and exposed?
I think the biggest story we probably ever broken was either the FTX stuff, but that was already kind of going on. It was probably the Logan Paul story, the CryptoZoo saga, just the classic influencer greed story where this guy launches an NFT project, does millions upon millions of dollars in sales, and delivers nothing. He promises the world a fun blockchain game that earns you money, and he did nothing, and the project was left abandoned, and people were like miserable, complaining. Basically, the idea is they're going to sell you these 2 things. Eggs is NFT, and then there's a coin aspect to it called Zoo tokens, okay? So you can buy these Zoo tokens to buy the eggs, and the idea is the eggs will then hatch into animals that will earn passive Zoo tokens. So you can buy eggs with Zoo tokens, and then the eggs will passively earn you Zoo tokens. All of a sudden, the hatch day comes when you're supposed to hatch these eggs, and half the hatching doesn't work. Your NFTs would turn into different NFTs. They would transform into the animals. They go from an egg to an animal.
Is this it?
Yeah, there it is. You get bear shark. So
Whale panda.
So people start to
gorilla.
Is this still around?
See how keen Rogan got as soon as he saw the bear shark? Logan missed out on a massive opportunity to get Rogan in on the scheme.
Half the eggs don't work, and they're not actually earning anything. The whole time they said they were going to earn you these tokens, right? They're not earning anything. So the promises haven't been fulfilled. There's just sort of all this stuff going on behind the scenes. Logan's quiet. Come to find out, he had hired basically criminals who were selling on the back end. I don't know what his thing was. I think he realized it's not going to be that successful. Let me move on. I think his mentality was, let me just move on, right? The problem though is you have millions of dollars of investment in a thing that you promoted. You told everyone it was going to make them money, and then you never delivered anything. So my story was basically showing the victims of the scheme, and then in response, he's like, well, I'm going to sue you for that.
He said he's going to sue you.
Yeah, he said, I'll see you in court.
All right, so let's get down to business here. I'm going to put my personal beliefs to the side for a moment and just give you the hard facts. For Logan to win this, he needs to show that CoffeeZilla either made the statements that Logan was responsible for the scam, knowing it was false at the time he said it, or he had a high degree of awareness of its probable falsity, or he had serious doubts as to its truth. That's what the law says. The rules are different because Logan is a public figure. It's this thing called actual malice. The bar for defamation is much higher than just between two private citizens, because normally you would just have to prove negligence. But the difference here is Logan will have to show that CoffeeZilla basically believed at the time that the statements he was making about Logan were false. It's not enough to show that the statements themselves were false. No, he has to show that CoffeeZilla knew himself that what he was saying wasn't true. So I just want to make that really clear for you guys, because think back to the Dominion lawsuit against Fox News. Remember how after all those text messages came out in Discovery that showed how various presenters and producers at Fox knew that there wasn't any evidence of voter fraud, they all of a sudden agreed to settle for almost $800 million? That's because those text messages were evidence of actual malice. Fox News knew what they were saying was bullshit. They had to support the voter fraud narrative because their ratings were dropping after they accepted the results and called it a fair election. That is the power of Discovery. And that's where CoffeeZilla could come into play here, because he should be able to get access to all of the text messages and emails between Logan Paul and his people, as long as it's relevant to the CryptoZoo scheme. That way, Coffee's lawyers can look for any evidence that Logan knew it was a scam but did nothing to stop it, or even maybe he was involved in the scam from the beginning. Remember, we've only seen the evidence that has been shared voluntarily by those involved. The discovery process in a lawsuit is a whole new level of scrutiny and detail. The flip side is, though, Logan's lawyers will also get access to all of CoffeeZilla's correspondence and research for that 3-part series he did, which could reveal that Coffee twisted the truth and omitted specific details to make Logan look like a scammer. It goes both ways. So it's going to be really interesting. I hope Coffee doesn't settle and goes all the way with this. Logan's asking for a trial by jury, and he's seeking compensatory damages of $75,000, as well as any punitive damages available, which are capped in the state of Texas. I think all up, worst case scenario for Coffee is probably around $250,000 in damages, but it would depend on a few different calculations, and that's obviously if Logan wins, right? There would also be at least that in costs as well, so it could be a very expensive day for Coffee, again, assuming that Logan wins. There's also heaps of funny shit in the legal filings. For example, on the very first page under the heading Nature of the Action, it says, Plaintiff Logan Paul, a globally recognized entertainer, athlete, and entrepreneur, brings this defamation action against defendant Stephen Findeisen, aka CoffeeZilla, a self-described investigative journalist and internet detective with no actual journalism training or a private investigator's license. I mean, CoffeeZilla's an entertainer too, yeah? Just like Logan. I subscribe to his channel and watch his videos, but at the end of the day, he's just a YouTuber trying to get clicks like everyone else. You might disagree with me, but that's the angle I would be taking if I was in CoffeeZilla's position, just like Alex Jones did and Tucker Carlson as well. CoffeeZilla could claim that his viewers are aware that he produces videos for entertainment, it's not serious journalism, etc. Now, that's not to say that everything Coffee does is bullshit. He's obviously uncovered some actual scams and documented them, which is awesome, but he's still a YouTuber making a living from ad revenue, and the more clicks he gets, the more money he makes, right? It's not like he's a journalist on a fixed salary working for a publisher. That way, Coffee could claim that any damage to Logan's reputation he did to himself, because I just make videos for entertainment. Everybody knows that, therefore Logan's holding me to a higher standard than he should and blaming me for shit that I didn't do. The problem with that is, though, CoffeeZilla sometimes actually engages in journalism by reaching out to alleged victims and getting their testimony, as well as reaching out to guys like Logan for comment, which he did several times, so it's probably a pretty tricky road to go down. He'd almost be better off not reaching out to anyone for comment and speculating instead. That way he can't be held to that higher standard. But I'm just talking about legal angles here. I'm not trying to throw shade on him or anything like that. So I hope you guys understand where I'm coming from. I'm just trying to balance everything out. Either way, we'll have to wait and see what he comes back with. I'll keep you guys posted. In the meantime, if you want to see some of my uncensored content, head over to my Patreon, where I just dropped a video on the latest twist in Brendan Schaub's lawsuit, which could actually see him win his appeal. So check out the link in the description there. Otherwise, if you're not a regular of this channel, hit the subscribe button and don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you ended up enjoying this video. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.
But what's the goal? I mean, bro, one word answer, money is a scoreboard. It's a game to me. Where do you rank on that scoreboard? You know, how many billionaires, how many self-made billionaires are there under 30? It can't be fucking more than 10.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, that's cool. That's cool to me. How many kids will that inspire?